new photo mode options, new landmarks, and maybe even a new spider mini boss. These are some really cool things that I think could be added into Grounded, and a lot of other people think they could be added into Grounded because these are suggestions from the Grounded Discord. 10 exciting Grounded Discord suggestions here on Tiny Pirate Gaming. What up? It's Tiny Pirate Gaming back with another exciting Grounded suggestions video, and these suggestions come from the Grounded Discord. If you have suggestions for Grounded, the best place to detail them, to post them, is in the Grounded Discord under the suggestions channel. There the community can upvote on them, and if your suggestion gets enough upvotes, it will be presented to the game development team, and you never know, it might end up in the game. A lot of the community suggestions have already made their way into the game. I'll be covering that in a future video, but for now, I'll be covering 10 exciting Grounded Discord suggestions, and if you really like that, well, you could do me a huge favor and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see more exciting Grounded-related, Grounded-themed content here on Tiny Pirate Gaming, I hope this video earns your subscription today. Number 10.
In photo mode, let us be able to use a scrub timeline slider to rewind up to 30 seconds or so of gameplay. It would allow for more candid action shots.
A time of day slider in photo mode.
And actually, this one, I think, is something that will be coming in the new update with Grounded based off of what was shown to us in the letters from the developer. If you haven't seen the letter for the developer, I have a video on it. It's probably linked down in the description or in the top corner of this one. You can go check it out, but it looks like a time of day slider is something that's actually going to be added into the game. So here is an example of a suggestion from the community that's ending up in the game. Anyway, let's get on with the list. Photo mode options. People really want photo mode options. I personally think photo mode options would be fun. Fun stuff like being able to add in props, maybe being able to add in an enemy so you don't necessarily have to capture the photo, or being able to add in the other characters, the other teens, to the photograph in case you're playing solo and you don't have everybody online, but you want to get a 4-person shot somewhere, drop in basically props. That would be my suggestion. But here's some photo mode option suggestions that were presented in the Grounded Discord. If you like them, go smash the upvote on them. But let's move on to number 2. Number 9.
Grass-stained pair of sneakers they wear to cut the grass / do yard work in. Maybe on the porch or near the shed, maybe a pair of Converse, and thematically 90s.
You ever heard the old nursery rhyme about the old lady that lived in the shoe? Something like that. The old lady lived in a boot. Something like that. Apparently, there's a lot of the Grounded community that wants to see a giant sneaker landmark or a boot landmark or something like that. This one suggestion that I included is only one of a few, but the reason I included it is because I would like to see more fun-themed landmarks. Now, granted, the backyard is very early in development. There are still huge under construction zones that haven't even really been touched, which means the likelihood of us seeing all sorts of fun new landmarks in the future is very high. We still got a lot of the backyard to work with, and even in the current area of the backyard that we play in, the non-under construction zone, some of the landmarks that exist there have been moved and changed since their initial introduction into the game. So landmarks, we will definitely get more of them, but I think, and I know, there's a lot in the community that would like to see a sneaker or a boot landmark, which is why I included it in the suggestion. Plus, it gives me a reason to remind everyone that it's early access and we will be seeing new landmarks in the future. We will be seeing expansions across the backyard as those under construction zones start to get filled in, and as the zone we currently play in gets more concrete in how it's going to stay. Because, fair warning, the backyard has changed almost every update. In some portion of the backyard, elevation and terrain, new rocks, new landmarks completely shifting their locations, flooding zones, boot prints, all sorts of changes have been occurring every single update, even within the non-under construction zone. So I think it's fair to assume that the entire backyard is an under construction zone. So just keep that in mind. And be ready for the future of Grounded when we're going to get some awesome new landmarks. Big hype in the chat. Big hype in the chat. Oh, this isn't live. All right, big hype in the comments. Big hype in the comments if you're excited for new Grounded content. I'm excited for new Grounded content. 100 years of new Grounded content. 100 episodes. 100,000 years of new content for 100,000 years. Tiny Power Gaming, 100,000 episodes of new content with Grounded for 100,000 years. 100 episodes. 1,000 episodes. 100 episodes. Something like that. Number 8.
Make the hedge brood mother a bit harder. Let it call spiderlings. Let it drop special spider parts to make even better spider armor that has an ability to call spiderlings like wolfies in Minecraft.
So this suggestion obviously came before they removed the brood mother spider from the game, but the brood mother will hopefully be coming back at some point. The ultimate suggestion here is a mini boss. I've mentioned this in numerous videos before. I want to see a mini boss, biome bosses, spider mini bosses with special parts that you use to make special armor. I don't know about having the ability to summon the spiderlings, but I think that would be really cool, something like that. If we get pets, like if we get the aphid pet, being able to have some sort of an insect pet that you can actually will maybe help you fight in battle, like I don't know, like a little spiderling, or you can summon the spiderlings. Arise, spiderlings, and defeat my foes. Like, I didn't know, something like that would be kind of fun. But I don't know. But the ultimate suggestion here is mini bosses. That's the reason I included this suggestion, because I think adding mini bosses into the game would really make it more fun, especially once the multiplayer gets stabilized and synchronized properly. Then it really gives you incentive to invite your friends over to help you beat the scary spider mini boss, or the scary praying mantis mini boss, or something like that. Whatever, scary scorpion mini boss, some sort of boss creatures that are more powerful than the base creatures and give you a special reward for defeating them. Number 7.
Rare, unique materials to make one and done items and armor sets which cannot be duplicated. Royal ant armor, lucky clover armor, spiny grub armor, etc. Rare overworld spawns which produce unique variants of existing creatures or introduce creatures which cannot be encountered by any other means. Yellow ladybug with vastly increased defense capabilities and higher health.
Now, what both of these suggestions are suggesting is some sort of limited reward event cycles. Now, I agree with that. There should be, I think, seasonal events or monthly events or weekly events at some point in the future of this game, which creates a reason to come back. Like, oh, did you hear they're doing this special event in Grounded this month? Or are you ready for the next Christmas event? I wonder what sort of unique item, what sort of unique boss we'll be dealing with. It's the spring event, so on and so forth, the harvest event. These sorts of ideas, I think, these sorts of limited time events like you would normally see in games where there's going to be a special creature this month, or the alternate spawns of specific creatures, like for example was mentioned the yellow ladybug, like shiny Pokemon. Sometimes you come across a shiny ant and it gives you a special unique item like a shiny ant head. But getting a shiny ant is like getting a shiny Eevee. It's super rare, it's hardly going to happen, and you really got to look and search for it. And maybe, did you hear in August they're going to do a special reward event where there's going to be more higher spawn rates for the shiny insects, so on and so forth. Those sorts of ideas, limited rewards, unique items that you got to be there for that period of time, and if you damage it or you lose it, you may never be able to get it again. Special things that I like to call in Grounded relics, things that exist from before that you can't do anymore. That's a relic. Number 6.
Add an enable feature for Rogue Bug. A hunter player could come into your world as a bug and hunts the players. Rewards would be cosmetic.
What this suggestion is bringing up is if you've ever played Dying Light, in that game there is a feature you can turn on which will allow a 5th player to join your lobby, except they join it as an enemy creature. And that enemy creature is super overpowered and it's going to hunt you down. It sort of creates a game scenario like if you've ever played Predator Hunting Grounds, where there's 4 players and there's a 5th player who's actually the enemy and they're hunting you down. That's what they're asking for with this suggestion here, is a similar style like that, where there could be an option when you're in a multiplayer game mode to enable a rogue bug feature, and through that rogue bug feature a 5th player could join in and essentially change the dynamic of the game into a 4-player co-op survival with the 5th player as a dominant creature that is also hunting you alongside the other environmental enemies that you might encounter.
Number 5.
Can there be an interact button to trade with other characters so we don't have to drop things on the ground and accidentally kick them or need a storage container to give items?
What more needs to be said? I don't need to analyze this one very deeply. It's a pain. It's a pain when you're playing multiplayer and your friend's like, hey, I need some food, and you drop some food on the ground and you kick it, and next thing you know, there's ants all over it and they've eaten it and it's all gone because it was lost out in the yard and you got to go searching for it. So the only other way is to throw it in a crate. Like they said, you got to throw it in a crate, and if you don't have any crates around, what are you going to do? How are you going to trade it? Well, it's a trade button. We should be able to trade with the other players in our world. It would be awesome. It would be great. I think it's a good suggestion. That's why I put it in the video.
Number 4.
We should be able to craft fishing poles and go fishing for mini guppies or other small things that live in the pond. The fishing pole would be made of 1 times sprig, 2 times spider silk, and 1 crude rope. And the bait could be any kind of meat.
I always like the ones where they go really in depth and they're like, these are the exact materials you should use, because it's like they really thunk this out. They really thought it out. It's in their mind, crystal clear, exactly how it will work. And I think a fishing mini game would be super duper awesome and grounded. Even if we were fishing for the bigger stuff, like the tadpoles and stuff, it'd just be fun to fish in the pond with a fishing pole. Or maybe off of a kayak or something. I don't know if there's anyone who's ever suggested a kayak or drawn up any concept art or anything like that. Oh wait, yes I do. Check the link down in the description. You might be able to watch a video about it.
Number 3.
I'd love to see the other PC teens in different parts of the yard during the solo campaign, like have Pete be hanging out at one of the outposts.
So this is just a neat idea that the non-selected teens who are still, if you're playing solo, there'd be 3 extra ones, or if you're playing in a multiplayer lobby and not all, you don't have 4 players, the non-selected characters would be somewhere in the yard that you could interact with while you're playing in your game, and maybe it's just something as simple as, a little voice line here or there, but it would just make the backyard feel a little more exciting, especially if they had various locations and they would sometimes move around on their own. I don't know, maybe throw some AI on them and suddenly you got some companions in the game, maybe solo companion mode. I don't know. I think it's just a neat idea, and it makes the gears in my head start to grind, and I start to think of all sorts of ideas and suggestions of my own.
Number 2.
A form of dungeon could be cool, or another place where you can find some hidden treasures, like the ant cave, maybe a sandcastle in the sandbox.
Oh, what's that? I see suggestions in the suggestion thing for dungeons. Well, it just so happens that I'm building a dungeon, and you can build a dungeon yourself and make your friends explore it if you start it at the spawn point. And that's what I'm doing with this one. I like to call this the dev dungeon because it's designed specifically for someday to have Moobs and Shyla and Chris try to make their way through this. Try to make their way through this maze I've constructed, and there's all sorts of secret rooms, and you're gonna find hidden treasures. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to find the secret room right at the start that might set you up with some good gear for your further adventures through the dungeon. Otherwise, you won't have anything good to go through the dungeon with. Now you can cheat, obviously, and just bash the buildings down. Maybe I should have made this in mild mode, but then it won't be as cool. So I don't know, maybe there should be a way to turn off other players from being able to mess with your builds. I'm going to throw that in here. If you think that's a good idea, or if you like this dungeon, well, you could do me a huge favor and smash that like button. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see more exciting videos like this one, all about grounded themed, grounded related content, if that's what you're looking for, that's what all I do here. It's pretty much all I do here. So maybe I hope this video earned your subscription today. But anyway, let's move on. And don't forget to ring the little bell and become part of the #TinyCrew. But let's move on to the final one. On to the final number. Bring it in. Roll the number in.
Number 1. The ground in the flower bed area seems too hard and flat for a flower bed.
Frozen lands.
Sandbox desert. Haze revamp, etc.
More thematic drama for each individual biome location. Each biome should have a unique look, sound, feel, and play style.
There should be a sandbox biome that acts as a desert. Little to no water, there should be creatures that only spawn there.
There's a lot of these. There is a lot of these. What can I say? People want new biomes. They want the biomes to have special creatures in each biome, unique to the environment, difficulty levels altered, survivability mechanics possibly changed. People want new biomes to explore, and that's obvious because we've only got like a third of the backyard that we get to mess around in right now in the grounded game preview. But we're going to get new biomes, but I really would like to see creature specific biomes, like boss characters in each biome, or more than usual numbers of specific creatures in certain biomes, or unique creatures that only exist in specific biomes. I think that would be really fun, and I actually think that's already in store for us. But it's nice to see that the community really wants to see these, because I want to see these too. I want to explore. I want new stuff to find. And if you want new stuff to find and you enjoy these videos, then you can do me a huge favor and smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Everyone who's part of the hashtag Tiny Crew, you are all amazing. Thank you so much for getting me over 500 subscribers. I didn't make a big deal about it. If you want to know what's going on, everything related to Tiny Pirate Gaming, you can follow me on the Twitter. You can also join the Tiny Pirate Gaming Discord to keep up with all things Tiny Pirate Gaming. All channel news is announced there. You'll be able to interact with the community, meet other members who like Grounded. It's a really fun place to hang out. We share artwork there. You can share your artwork there. It'll be fun. I'd love to see it. And your Grounded pictures, all that sort of stuff. Join the Discord. Follow me on the Twitter. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time.
Arg, matey, watch your step. There be a tiny pirate here.